Ready to change your university or course through KUCCPS? Let's walk through it step by step, no mistakes. Welcome to part 2B of our KUCCPS Rejected You Watch This series. If you missed part A, pause now and watch it first. It explains how inter-university transfer works, who qualifies, the risks, the benefits, and expert advice to help you make the right move. This part is all action. So we log in into the KUCCPS portal and break it down click by click. So if you are serious about transferring, watch this to the end and let's go. But before that, remember to subscribe because 90% of people watching this have not yet subscribed to this channel. And from here, let's get started. So the first things first is to head to the students.kucps.net.login as you can see here. Once you do that, it's going to take you here and then you're going to click student login. I know by now you are familiar with these steps, so it's going to be a bit direct. Then you put your KCC index number. Then of course you put the year that you are done. And then finally you put your password. And of course that password can either be your birth certificate number or your KCPE index number. That one I know you know for sure. And from there, you get into it. So the first thing you see when you get into this portal is everything here. So the first thing by now is that you have already received a letter, an admission letter to any university or whatever course. So for this particular candidate, who had actually scored an A minus of 80 points, was scored to more university to do a Bachelor of Science, Information Sciences. And of course, I know like you're asking yourself, what, wow, what really happened? I mean, and I know this is what most of you did. You messed up with the cutoff points and you just had the hope and everything, but don't worry because this might actually be your lifeline and you might actually happen to transfer because for this particular candidate, ended up transferring, and that's why you can be able to see there is a letter here, and this is where your letter will actually appear if at all everything becomes successful. So once you do this, you're going to head over to the transfer application tab. Once you get to the transfer application tab, we are going to see two things here: a transfer dashboard and a transfer application. So a transfers dashboard basically is where you see everything, including how your applications, all the applications that you have made, and the transfer status, and then the details in how you can actually be able to go step by step. Okay, so for now, we're just going to go quickly through these application instructions. They will be telling you how to do it. Transfer application, that's where we are. Then you're going to enter the code of the institution and the program that you wish to transfer to. Then you have to select the reason for which you are seeking the transfer. Now, this is where things become a bit interesting. Unfortunately, I may not be able to do it step by step because the application deadline is closed, but that is not important. What is important here is to know these tricks and to know what is and what they require you to do and the mistakes that you need not to do at this point, because that process anyone can do it. But now there are those small things that I want to give you through this video. So just stick to the very end. One of them here is these reasons for transfer. You have to be very keen when they ask you to seek a transfer reason. You give them the most I don't want to say that you lie, but you have to give them a strong convincing reason why you need to transfer, right? For instance, if you are transferring for medical reasons, then they will have, actually they are saying, for example, if you are stated medical reasons, you may attach a letter from a recognized health facility or a medical professional. So if you attach such a letter, then you are at a better position to actually have that transfer application successful. Okay, or you can even give examples such that my family recently maybe relocated and this university is now more accessible, or the new course actually aligns with my career goals, or I would like to be closer to home for medical reasons, and then you end up giving those medical reasons. So those are just some of the reasons, and you can be able to see that they are actually telling you to type a brief explanation on why you are seeking to change that institution. Okay, then of course you'll proceed to pay the 1,000 fee, and then you'll have to submit your application. Everything else you can just read it. It's a bit more careful. So what really happens when you submit that application, you now start this process. Okay, so if I click transfer applications, for instance, right now the portal is not open at the time of making this video, but it matters where you are. So you can see this is the initial placement, and they're telling me that I am not eligible. I mean the portal is not open, and then they're also telling me that I'm not eligible for the current inter-institution transfer. Do you know why? Because this candidate did the transfer in the year 2024 because he was a 2023 candidate. So what does that mean? that you have to be very careful with this application, because once your lot is gone, it's gone. If you're in this group of 2025, once that is closed, it is closed. So be very keen about that. Okay. So I want you to show you something here. This particular candidate, after being invited to do Bachelor of Science Information Sciences, did not actually like this course. So he ended up starting transferring. And the first application was made on June 6th, 2024 at this time. And you can see there's a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery from KEMU. And you can see the application is inactive. So if I click, this was the first transfer that this candidate did, but it was unsuccessful. If I click the details, for instance, let's see. Very good. This is what I wanted you to see. This was what this candidate wanted to go and do. He wanted to change from Moi to Kemu and go and do medicine. By the time you get to this level, by the time KUCCPS allows you to actually submit a transfer application, then it means that you have actually qualified to go to that course. So it's a matter of the vacancy and so forth and so on. So you can see I gave the transfer reason, or whoever was making this application, that this was not my preferred program. That was just the reason. And you can see the transfer endorsement, the endorsement denied. And what was their reason? That the 2024-2025 class was actually full. And this is most of the things we'll be getting. Okay, so maybe for them the reason was not more satisfying, and therefore you should have gone for a better reason. And of course, bearing the fact that this is a private university, and probably maybe they don't want to really deal with the issues to do with the hair blown, and they may want you to go there as a private student. So it is a kind of an issue, because remember, even if this student would have gone to do this course via this private university, then the only advantage there was to receive the loan, and it's not really different if you go for the direct application. Okay, so remember, we have given all those details in our various videos, both for the help loan and also for the direct application, as we have uploaded. You can check them out. So once you do your applications, maybe I can go back to where we were. um, you'll be viewing them through this transfer status here. Okay, so your transfer application details, and then the reason for transfer. Then once you pay, then there will be an endorsement by receiving institution. That is the first things first. Okay, so your request will first go to the new university you want to join. Okay, so you have to wait for that receiving university to accept you before continuing. Then after that, the endorsement by releasing institution. The very tough one is by the receiving. So if the receiving agrees, then you are very high chances everything else will just flow. Okay, so this is where things really become a bit difficult. But once they agree, then the others, if you see this is green, I mean the others just become easier to do. So from there, then the review by KUCCPS, and then finally the transfer letter. Okay, so as you can see here now, this candidate was able to make a final application that was actually accepted, and this was Bachelor's of Law. So the transfer program was that is the code for that program, which is Bachelor's of Law in UN. The transfer reason is that it was not his preferred program. The transfer endorsement, UN endorsed and agreed. They did not give any message there. They endorsed for release. More university released them. KUCCPS actually approved, and then that was it. So I don't think this was a transfer letter. I may have wanted you to see it, but I have tried to download it before, and it was an error because it has really stayed in the system, as you can see, for quite some time. So that's why it is already done. So you would have seen it, but unfortunately, that letter is not with us here because they have already taken it back. I mean, it is a bit of some time then. So back to this dashboard here, this is where you will see your letter. Okay, so there are a few things I want you to note here. The letter is your key to admission at your university. So download it, print it, and keep both the physical and the digital copies safe. As you can see, it has taken almost a year. That's why this letter is not available at this particular point. So you have to download it yourself and then save it both on your devices and print it, because if it goes, then you'll have a very tough time to actually start doing everything. So you have to present it during the admission to the new institution. So common mistakes that you need to avoid: very fast, number one, don't wait until the last day to apply. Don't apply to a course you don't qualify for. Don't forget to print your transfer letter, and don't lie in your reasons. It can even delay your approvals. But I mean, if that's your way of becoming smart, it's up to you. And That is it, your full KUCCPS transfer process that has been explained step by step. If you follow these and still have questions, you can drop them in the comments and I will help where I can. Subscribe, like this video, and turn on the bell because this is only part 2 of our 7-part series. More alternatives are coming, including the private applications, spire degree options, combining your courses, and more. So the link to part A is in the description if you need to understand the background better. And this is your guide here at the Kenyan Student. Let's make your placement work for you, not against you. Peace, progress, and purpose. See you in the next.